Welcome to Utena, the regional center of the vast Aukštaitija Lake districts. You'll find the Utena District in the northeast of Lithuania, right next to Ignalina, Zarasai and Molėtai Lake districts. Utena is around 1.5 hours drive away from the capital Vilnius, but just 1 hour from Daugavpils, the second largest city in Latvia. The population of Utena District municipality reaches around 39,000. Utena District is mostly known in Lithuania for its industry, large companies producing clothes, meat and beer. Utenos Alus beer company is so famous in Lithuania that there even is a brewery museum in Utena, which is well worth a visit for beer enthusiasts. Utena is also surrounded by the beautiful nature of Aukštaitija National Park with almost 200 lakes in the district and many historical places, so there is plenty to do for those who like spending time in nature. But let's begin our journey through Utena District from Utena City itself. While the history of Utena reaches the 13th century and it is one of the oldest settlements in the country, the oldest architectural remnants of its past are only from the 19th century, as most of the city was lost to wars and fires. Today, probably the oldest building in Utena is its old post office, built in the 1830s, which is currently an art school. For a bit of history, there is a small but interesting museum situated at the old railway station. The Museum of the Battles of Freedom displays the hardships and exile during the early years of Soviet occupation after the Second World War and the Lithuanian guerrilla fights against it. I visited the museum during a Memorial Day, 14th of June, which is a very dark day in Lithuanian history. On this day in 1941, the Soviets exiled more than 17,000 Lithuanians to concentration camps in Siberia, which was only the beginning of mass exiles, resulting in around 130,000 people exiled during that decade, most of them women and children. This museum is situated in one of the train stations of the time where the people were taken to exiles in train cars like this one. The museum also tells the story of guerrilla fights that happened at the same time. Fortunately, some people survived the exiles and told their story. Some of them were even able to come to the memorial event held here. For more history, Utena also has another history museum right at the main square of the city. There you can also learn about the Jewish heritage of the city, as before the Second World War, they were about half of the population of the city. Actually, Utena is a childhood home of a famous Jewish cardiologist, Bernard Lown, whose family barely escaped the horrific history that took place in Utena and most of Europe by emigrating to the United States just a few years before the start of the war. Dr. Bernard Lown is famous for inventing the modern direct current defibrillator, and also he had received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1985 as a co-founder of the Group International Physicians for the Prevention of Nuclear War, uniting 150,000 doctors from 40 countries around the globe. There is another quite well-known person from Utena from a younger generation and a totally different sphere of activity: basketball. Utena is home to Jonas Valanciunas, one of the best basketball players in Lithuania and who plays in the NBA as well. For a more laid-back atmosphere in Utena, you can visit a beautiful park by the lake Dauniškis. There is a lovely terrace at the lakefront to relax and enjoy the lake and the city views. Utena also has a manor house built in the 19th century in red bricks, quite unusual for Lithuania. Since the 1920s, the manor has been used as a school. While Utena has a few more manor houses left around the district, all of them are privately owned, so visiting is quite limited there. One lovely 19th century neoclassical manor is in Saldutiškis village. While it belongs to local farmers nowadays, it is nice to have a look at it from outside, as well as a local little church next to it. What actually brings us to the Saldutiškis village is a popular farm animal zoo, Triušiukų slėnis, Bunny Valley. It's probably the most popular place to visit in the district, and it is a great place to spend some leisure time in nature with family. Bunny Valley has more than 50 breeds of rabbits from all over the world, with various interesting features. The farm also has lots of other various domesticated animals, ranging from various birds, goats, deer, to camels and ostriches. It was a lovely place to spend some time in the village atmosphere and plenty to do for kids. Nearby begins the Aukštaitija National Park, one of the most beautiful natural areas in Lithuania. The park is famous for its picturesque landscapes of hills, lakes and forests, as well as centuries-old villages and their wooden architecture. Aukštaitija National Park is quite large and is shared between the districts of Utena, Ignalina and Švenčionys, with most of its famous spots situated in Ignalina District, like Ladakalnis Hill, Palušė Village, Beekeeping Museum and hundreds of surrounding lakes. You can watch my previous video about Ignalina and Švenčionys districts if you want to know more about that. But Utena District also has its bit of the national park. In between the pristine nature of forests and lakes, there are ethnographic villages with traditional wooden houses hidden at the lake shores. There are plenty of hiking routes available for exploring the villages and surrounding natural landscapes by foot or by bike. There even are routes for kayaking through the lakes and rivers. The most famous part of the national park on Utena side is Toragnas Lake. Toragnas, while looking pristine and quite narrow, is actually the deepest lake in Lithuania. It is 62.5 meters deep and at the same time it is the highest altitude lake in the country, at around 162 meters. While personally I'm not sure if I would dare to swim here, the water seems nice and clear. But you can also enjoy Toragnas Lake from the shore. For that, there is a well-situated Toragnas Hillfort. Back in the Middle Ages, there used to stand Toragnas Castle, which later was destroyed by the Livonian order. These days, it is a wonderful place to have wide views of the lake and surrounding nature. And at the bottom of the Hillfort, there is a great spot for a dip into the lake. At the other edge of the lake, there also is Toragnas village, where there is a great campsite and beach by the lake. The beach is situated at a more shallow end of the lake for safe swimming. During the summer season, there also are boat tours available at the lake. From the beautiful lakeside, let's go to a different kind of natural attraction in Utena District. It is Šeimyniškiai rock conglomerate and outcrop. These kind of rock formations are extremely rare in Lithuania, which is predominantly a lowlands area. As my son and I are fans of anything related to rocks, this place definitely caught our eye during the trip. To me personally, this was one of the most interesting rocks in Lithuania. Also, at a nearby village Užpaliai there is a Manor House. It is a humble neoclassical house built in the beginning of the 19th century. These days it is used as a local culture center. The stone-built stables there are quite interesting with their traditionally decorated windows. It is converted into a little ethnographical museum and an events venue. Next, let's go back near Utena City, to Narun Hillfort, or to be precise, where it all started. Narun Hillfort is the place where Utena was originally built, together with a castle on the hill. However, it faced the same fate as Toragnas Hillfort. After being destroyed by the enemies, the locals moved a bit north from there, to the place where the town grew till the modern-day Utena. Nevertheless, Narun Hillfort is a beautiful place to visit when going towards Utena, with a lovely view and history to think of. We also loved the swing there at the edge of one of the hills. Overall, Utena is not a very touristic place, but some of the places we visited here really left a great impression. Our favorites were the rock formations, Bunny Valley, and we didn't want to leave that beautiful serene place by Toragnas Lake, even though it was evening already. Most of the beauty of Utena District is at Aukštaitija National Park, which I cannot recommend enough to visit for those who love a serene holiday in nature. See you in Utena, and thanks for watching!